Hello, everyone. Welcome to How to Succeed in Business During a Pandemic. I'm Wendy Lally. I'm your host, and I'm delighted that you could join us today. Today we have a very unusual show. The purpose of the show is to interview entrepreneurs and professionals who are all doing business during this challenging time that I refer to as the era of COVID-19. Some of those people, well, we're all challenged, but some of us are not only able to survive, but are actually thriving during this time. And I thought it would be interesting to meet those people, talk to them, and introduce them to you so they could share the insights that they're having such success with, and that perhaps you could practice them too. So that's the purpose of the show. I'm a marketer. I do copywriting, and that means I do copy content and blogs and brochures and that kind of thing. So this show is kind of a natural fit for me because I'm sharing information that I think would be useful, which is what I do as a writer. And today we have someone who I've actually worked with as a writer. Her name is Gini Kondziolka, and she is a graphic designer. She's been on the show before. She actually was the first person I interviewed for this show, and she also did our credit, the credit cards that you see at the beginning and at the end of the show. But I asked Jenny to come back because her business involves a lot of a type of marketing that I think is often overlooked by people called promotions. These are the business cards that you use, and the promotions would include business cards, the pens that you get from a business with their name on it. One of the things you may be very familiar with are Happy Meals from McDonald's, and they have the little toys inside. Those are promotional items, and that's what we'll be talking about today. So I'd like to introduce you to Gini Kondziolka, who will be talking about promotions that she creates for her clients. She created some for me that I absolutely love, and I'm thrilled that she's here today. Hi, Gini.
Hi, Wendy. Thanks for having me back.
More than happy to. The first thing, I guess, well, I've kind of already stated the premise of promotions and why they're important to marketers. But why don't we get right to what you do and why it makes a difference to your clients and to their clients when they receive them. I want to start with business cards, which I know you're a super expert at.
Business cards are a favorite project of mine. They're very challenging because they're so tiny and they have to carry a lot of information now. They have to carry, besides name, address, phone number, sometimes a mobile number, email, website, and then in some cases, social media, because a lot of people promote their businesses on social media now. And I'd like to design them two-sided so that people get an opportunity to put some information on the back side that talks about their business, what they do, and especially, if they have a name that doesn't really explain what their business is about, then I usually encourage them to put a tagline so that people know. Because otherwise, you hand out this card and like 6 months later, somebody's looking to contact you or contact somebody that does what you do, but they don't know. So I think it's important to at least have a tagline, if not a little descriptor on the back.
Ginny, why don't you bring the cards up? So we're doing this as a kind of a slide presentation, a screen share, which I've never done before. So Ginny is helping me on this one. But why don't you show the folks what you're talking about?
Okay. These are business cards I've designed for a variety of different clients. There's Audrey C., who does websites and mobile apps, and he wanted to list on the front what he does, and on the back he talks a little further about his services, and he has it in English and in Spanish because he can actually create websites that incorporate other languages if necessary. Tracy Hill is a spiritual activator. She does various types of healing, and so we listed the services on the back. DLX Courier is actually Deadline Express, and so on the back side they wanted to list their bike services, car services, and suburban services. Bulb Brain Creative does photography and videography. And so we put his social media on the back. And then Reclaim Mosaics is an artist that I met at an art fair I was doing. She needed a business card and some other things. And so I incorporated some of her artwork in. She does unique mosaics because she'll incorporate found objects like old pieces of jewelry and things into them, which is really cool. So I picked a more unique font for her to give it that artistic feel, that artsy feel.
These are great. They give a definite sense of the brand of each businesses. Okay, Ginny, why don't you tell us a little bit about the cards?
Well, I try to design a new card every holiday season. I do a blue combination and a red combination because not everybody celebrates Christmas. So I want to be sensitive to that. And some people just, have a color preference too. So what I let them do is they get to put an imprint inside with their own message and their logo if they want. And then on the top, they can write a personal message, which I think is a good thing because again, it's a way to keep in touch with people, and your time is your most valuable asset. And so people realize that when they get a handwritten note from you, that you've taken the time to think about what you want to say to them. And I think that's very important. The lower right picture are a series of note cards that I've designed. They have details of watercolors that I've done, and those can be used to keep in touch with clients throughout the year, or if you need to send them something with, as part of a project you're working on, you can write a little personal note with them. And they're just very handy. They're small, so.
I think that's such a great idea. And it's amazing the impacts a little something like that can have, especially in these times when we're disconnected from each other. We don't have a chance to have a coffee with each other. So this is a way of building on the opportunities that you do have to connect with your clients. Ginny, tell us about Joe the plumber.
Joe the plumber runs a networking group that meets every Monday. We're doing it virtually now, but he came to me to redesign his business card, and he had this logo done, which had to be tweaked a little bit because the person who designed it wasn't a designer. I tilted it to make it a little more dynamic looking, and so we incorporated his services on the back and what he talks about larger projects, and then his tagline, which is "When you flush, think of us." So I've also designed vehicle magnets that he put on his truck, and that tagline is on the tailgate. So I'm sure anybody following him is going to remember him because of that tagline. So the banner on the left was used at a networking meeting from probably one of the chambers, and he wanted to put it up because I guess he had a space there to talk about, his services, and so he was promoting himself. The middle banner is actually a window graphic for his office, and so we had a little more fun with that and put his information on there, phone number, email address. The pen has his logo on it, which had to be adapted because of space considerations. You only get so much imprint area. And the cup was done for his networking group.
Tell us about this.
This is hand-painted jewelry. I make it out of 300-pound watercolor paper. It's painted with acrylic and then coated with 10 coats of a clear acrylic varnish. Makes it sturdier, it protects it, and it gives it a nice glossy finish. I embellish things with beads, crystals, curled wire, micro beads, sometimes semi-precious stones. So it's I'm making doing an unusual product with an unusual material, but I want it to feel as precious as real jewelry. Something made with diamonds and emeralds and rubies and things. So and because it's paper, it's very light, so it's really easy to wear.
And I just want you to think of these items, the fact that she can design something for you, just for you, and for a special client. Imagine being able to give your client something that is, not uniquely designed, beautifully designed, and just for them. I mean, that's a tremendous gift. And these are not expensive because they are paper. Okay, why don't we go on to the last item, which I know you're all going to love.
So these angels are made the same way. They're made out of paper. They're hand painted and coated. A lot of them. I started making them as musical angels. I had a singing angel. I had an angel playing a trumpet, an angel playing a flute. But little by little, people started asking for different things, and I started thinking about other ways to make the angels. Like the banner angel started out as a housewarming gift for someone, so it said "Home Sweet Home." The hula angel I just made last year for someone. She wanted a hula angel for a friend of hers who was really into that. So I researched tropical patterns, and I made the little tiny lei and the little flower in her hair, and it was really well received.
So why don't we go into the brochure that people can request, and
Okay.
so you can see, because Ginny has all these items, and to remind you what they are and how you can get some for yourself. Just contact her at the email address at the bottom, and it's kind of this, in this one little pamphlet you'll have everything you need to know about her promotions. I just want to thank you for coming, Ginny, and for giving us this presentation, that it is important to utilize all the marketing avenues you can when you're trying to keep afloat during this time. The fact is, this has made all of us do business a little bit differently. But giving someone something, giving them a business card, giving them anything that connects you to them in a physical way is very, very powerful. The little notes that Ginny does, for example, that may hit a client, that little thank you note may come in their mail just at the moment when they're trying to think of who to recommend just to, a client of theirs or a friend of theirs, and there you are. The more of that you can do, the more successful you're going to be. At least that's my opinion. That's what I found in my life. Well, I think we've come to the end of our time now. And again, I want to say thank you, Ginny. This is just a delightful presentation. And I hope all of you have gotten as much from it as I have. I always love seeing what Ginny has done because it's so beautiful. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Wendy.
Well, like I said, this is got to wrap up here. Thank you for coming. I hope you'll return next week. We'll have another interesting person to meet and to tell you about how to succeed in business during a pandemic. Until then, please stay safe and stay well. Thank you.